Sports, ESPN Wilmington. I am Randy Slack. Joining me on the line right now, very special guest. You know, it's funny how this stuff works out. I get an email over the weekend about having Coach Siddle on the show, and then it just so happens the CAA releases their schedule, and the entire UNCW men's basketball schedule is now out. Check it out at uncwsports.com. Joining me on the line right now, Coach Siddle. Coach, good morning, sir. How are you?
Randy, I'm doing good, man. It's always good to hear your voice, man, and I appreciate you guys for having me.
Dude, I love having you on the show. I appreciate you giving me some time. I feel like you guys are always doing stuff. It's unbelievable. I follow you guys on Instagram, and constantly it seems like you guys are at practice. Like, is there no offseason anymore for you guys? You're always working.
Well, we do. We have mandated off days, but no, we're always putting in work, man. This is a 11-month deal, man, to where we're working and things are changing. The game is evolving. This is one of those things you have to work at pretty much for coaches 365 days out of the year, and then players, man, it's it takes a toll on them because they have to make that sacrifice and commitment to with their time and energy. So man, we work at it all the time.
Coach, you mentioned the game's always changing and evolving, and when you became the head coach for UNCW men's basketball, the transfer portal era really started taking shape, and you really have embraced it, of building the program in the image you want it to be in. What made you decide, you see guys famously like a Dabo Swinney in football who doesn't want to bring in transfers. For you, it's like, hey, I want to find the right men who could be on this team right now and contribute for the Seahawks.
Yeah, Randy, it's a lot that goes into it. But one thing that we always wanted to do is we always wanted to stay older.
Yeah.
You're playing against grown men in this league across the country. You're playing against grown men, and it's tough. It's one of those things where you don't get a lot of time to, show that you belong on the job. So you don't really have a lot of time to recruit a bunch of high school freshmen and take time to develop them. We certainly have done that. But we wanted to stay older, and we felt like we could get a more talented player in the transfer portal, a more ready player in the transfer portal. The thing that I think we've done a pretty good job of is being able to identify the right fit for our program and for our culture. And so those are just some of the things that we kind of think about as we're attacking recruiting.
Coach, last year, your team, you guys were lean and mean. You didn't have a ton of size, but you guys were all athletic, and you have guys playing all over the place. This year, you've gone out and you mentioned grown men. You've got some 7-footers on the team this year. What made you kind of get that size for this season compared to maybe what you've done in previous years?
Yeah, well, we knew we had to. I always liked, if you think back to when I had Jalen Sims in that championship group. Yeah. He was 6'6" at the point position. So I've always, wanted bigger guards, big versatile guards. And, we knew we had to bulk up a little bit on the interior, a lot of it on the interior. We knew we had to do that. But, we didn't go out saying, hey, we need some 7-footers. It just happened to be we were recruiting in the portal. We got in deep conversations with a 7-footer that was really interested, and he fell in love with the place, and we were able to get him. And then we got pretty lucky on the high school freshman that we got from Charlotte, who's really talented. So there's a little bit of luck in there, but yeah, we certainly have bolstered up our size just across the board, man. We'll have one of the biggest teams that probably in our league, and I know that I've ever coached here.
Is it change your philosophy on what you want to do as a coach, or can these guys play the style of basketball that we've come to expect from a Coach Siddle UNCW Seahawk team?
Yes, that's my vision, Randy. It has never, when we were getting these bigger guys, we didn't want plotters. We didn't want guys who couldn't move. We have size and athleticism. And so, I always, and I talk to you every year, always go into it saying maybe this is the team that we've always envision having, a group of 10, 11 guys that we can play and press and create chaos. I feel pretty convicted in saying that this year, if we can stay healthy, we have about 11 guys that I feel really good about. And now we can get back to playing that, pressing, trapping, and chaotic, aggressive style that we've always wanted to play.
Create chaos, and I'll tell you, Trask Coliseum has been a great place for it. The home crowds have been wonderful for the Seahawk games, and the fact that we have a record number of home games this year for Seahawk fans, you guys are going to be getting a lot of that home cooking this year.
Well, I get nervous about it, Randy. I'm certainly not complaining about it. I'd rather be sleeping in my bed and having our guys be as comfortable as possible playing at home. But I do get nervous about them playing into the crowd.
Okay.
But I certainly think we have one, if not the best fan base and home court advantage in the country. I know in our league. We're going to try to use it to our advantage. But we have to be very mature about it. But I'm excited about having all the home games that we have.
Yeah, I like that you're nervous about having home games. Would you rather play on the road? Like, I feel like, Coach, when you said this, it makes me feel like when you watch, I don't know how much you've watched the series, but like in the Rocky movies, in the beginning of Rocky 3, like Rocky's training in the glitzy place and Clubber Lang's in that dirty, grimy basement. Is that what you want your guys to be? You want them to be in the basement, not living in the lap of luxury, sleeping in their own beds? Is that what you're looking for, Coach?
Well, I want them to have that mentality. I certainly want them to have that mentality. I would much rather be playing at home and not traveling like we did last year. But I have to get their mentality to the place where they know that the crowd isn't going to shoot and make score points for us. They're not going to get rebounds. We're going to have to be a mature team and handle it the right way.
Absolutely. Coach Siddle on the line with us right now. Coach, talking about your team this year, you guys did a little bit of a preseason tour. I know you can do these like once every 4 years, and you guys did a little tropical trip down to the Bahamas. How did you feel that trip went to kind of bond this new team together?
I felt it went great. Before we took off, we had, a couple months through the summer to where we were working, just trying to get the new guys acclimated to our culture and getting the returners, acclimated to their new roles in our program. But, I just kind of sat back and I observed because what we were looking for the guys to, grow in our chemistry. Because that's so important when you bring in so many new guys. And I just sat back, man, and it was beautiful to just watch them come together. They were planning stuff together. They were hanging out together around the resort. It was beautiful to watch. It was a lot of positive things that came out of it. And, we've taken that, we've built off of it ever since we've started this preseason.
Coach, last year with your team, it was a lot of shy time at the end of games. Trezarian White, two of your main water carriers when it comes to getting some big buckets in at the end of games. Where do you have the guys kind of figured out of who's going to take those responsibilities of being your late game leaders, or is this kind of a work in progress and you're seeing who's going to kind of show themselves to be that guy?
Yeah, this will be a work in progress. I have in mind a couple of guys that I think will be capable of it, but you never really know who that is until they go through it a few times. So that'll be something that we'll be trying to figure out in the non-conference. But we certainly have more capable guys than we did last year. If things go as I'm thinking they will, and like I said, if we can stay healthy, we'll be a team where we have 4 or 5 guys averaging double figures, and
nice.
A couple guys, around 8 a game and 9 a game. But this should be a balanced scoring attack for us. Yes, those 2 guys handled a lot of the scoring load for us along with KJ, but I'd rather have it to where we got 5, 6 guys contributing at a high level.
Yeah, and you've been notorious of kind of switching your lineups up if the matchup deems it necessary. So I think, you're talking about you would rather have multiple guys being able to score. You're not shy of being like, hey, we're rolling a different starting five this game because of whatever's happening out there and how the flow of the game. I think a lot of coaches, they have their guys they want to roll with. You're very adaptable. It's been one thing I've found interesting with your coaching style here at UNCW.
Yeah, well, it's you earn your keep in practice.
Yeah.
So that's one thing that we do a good job evaluating. I don't care if it's a freshman. I don't care if it's a walk on. If you earn it and practice that week, you're going to start. You're going to play, and then when there's different styles in our league. It's different styles on our schedule.
Yeah.
So if there's an up tempo style that I don't think certain guys can help us win the game, then I'll go in a different direction. I'll do it in a mature way and talk to the young man and hope he handles it the right way. But we got to win, and so whatever we need to do to win, that's what we're going to do.
Yeah, man, 3 straight 20-win seasons for your Seahawks. Takeo Siddle on the line with us. Coach, the Live Oak Bank Holiday Classic coming to town for Thanksgiving. How much involvement did you have in bringing this event to the Wilmington area? And there's some really solid squads on this thing.
Yeah, this was my idea. I don't like to take credit for a lot of things, but this was something that when my boss man, Coach Oblinger, when he took over the job, we were in D.C. after we had lost in the championship game, and we sat down the next morning and we talked about some things that we wanted to do and moving the program forward. And one thing that I wanted to do was make sure that we had a tournament here over Thanksgiving, so we wouldn't have to travel, and so we could call it our own, something that the people around the city, the university would get excited about. And, we talked about the Charleston Classic, how big that is. We want to start it off, and we certainly want it to be special this year. But we want to grow it and make it something massive to where we're having to turn people down.
Yeah.
So that's one of the first things that me and him talked about. With his leadership and his support, we were able to put it together, and a lot of help from everybody else, Live Oak Bank and some other people. We were very thankful that we were able to put it together. We're excited about that.
Coach, I know you probably don't think about or want to dwell on one particular game too much, but last year when you guys got the win at Rep Arena and you made them retire their floor after the only time they ever used it there, which is pretty awesome, it was a really cool moment for people that here in the city and that root for UNCW. And the fact that here on the schedule this year, you guys are playing at Kansas, we have the expectation now that we're going to get the dub there. Because, honestly, if we can win it, I say we like I'm on the team at all. If you guys can win at Kentucky, why can't you win at Kansas, Coach?
That's the mentality we're going to have. Anybody on our schedule, we're trying to beat them. And you know what, Randy? I'm still trying to get a piece of that floor. They said they were going to sell it, and we were trying to get some pieces of the floor, man. If you know anybody that's got a connection on that, you let me know.
Okay.
You let me know. But, no, we're excited to go to Kansas. I think it'll be a great experience. The thing is getting our guys mentally ready for the challenge, because it's not going to be a small task. We know it. We're going to have to be damn near flawless for us to go up there and pull off a miracle. But, we expect to go in there and play well and compete to win.
Well, you guys always compete. Every time I've been at one of your games and watching you guys on TV, hearing you on the radio here, Coach Takeo Siddle from UNCW men's basketball, you guys have a huge home schedule. And, look, you guys sold out a ton of games, but you didn't have a lot of them. Now you guys have a ton of these home games, and I hope we can get you guys big crowds out there. For the people in Wilmington, you have a chance to talk to them, to sell them on the team this year. What do you want to tell them, Coach?
Listen, I've said it earlier a couple times. We went out and we wanted to assemble one of the most talented rosters that we've ever assembled here, and we feel really good about that.
Yeah,
feel really good about it, and we have to stay healthy. We have to grow in our chemistry. as we put this thing together, it's going to be epic in here. Okay, we can have an epic year. This will be one of those pressing up tempo, aggressive, scoring a lot of points. Just making sure that we put on a show.
Yeah,
and that's the thing. We want to turn this thing into something like a concert. We want you guys to get excited about it. We want it to be the biggest show in town. So we're very excited. Come out and watch us. Go buy your season tickets. We've sold about 2,200 right now. I expect that number to go up over the next few weeks. We're about plus 500 than what we were last year with season ticket sales. Get your season tickets. You don't want to miss it. It'll be the best show in town.
Coach, lastly, you mentioned concerts there. When I had Michael Oblinger in here, which you called him Coach Oblinger earlier, which I thought was funny, he mentioned doing renovations at Trask and maybe doing concerts. If you get a concert at Trask Coliseum, who do you want them to bring in?
That's a great question. So this is what I want the lineup to be.
Okay.
I want Future to come out.
Okay.
Okay, we want Future to come out. He's going to be the headliner. All right, and then we're going to have Drake. We're going to have Drake come out because we know people love Drake.
Sure.
All right, and then I have a young man that used to be our head manager, Jordan Rose, who's a big time Christian rapper, who we're going to have set the table for those guys. So that's the lineup we're going to have. And if I can have another one, we're going to bring Gunna out and rock the crowd. But we're going to make it a big deal now.
All right. Well, that's quite ambitious. We're going to have to build a lot bigger of an arena, I think, for this show. But if anybody can get it done, you can get it done. If you guys keep winning 20 games a year, they're going to need to build a 10,000-seater, buddy.
Hey, we got to dream big, right?
Absolutely.
We have to dream big. So that's what we're doing, man. But no, man, I appreciate you, Randy, so much.
Always love having you on the show, Coach. Thanks as always. I'll see you at Midnight Madness, and talk again soon, sir.
All right, Randy, thanks.